Alright everyone, we're back after doing Labyrinth of the Ancients. Our first 24-man raid was interesting for sure. And we gotta talk to Grahatia here. So good for you to join us, Naran. Our meeting would be dull indeed without a full account of your experiences in the Labyrinth. Take a moment to collect yourself, and when you're ready, we shall debate how best to proceed. Okay. Fellowship of Noah being accounted for, it's time this assembly was called to order. Rambros will be presiding over the meeting. If you'd be so kind as to inform of your readiness to proceed. Welcome back, Narn. I've just been reading about your encounter in the Labyrinth of the Ancients. It pleases me greatly to note that you seem none the worse for the experience. For your reference, I have added my own notes of Grahatha's preliminary expedition report and begun compiling a Crystal Tower survey log. The information contained within will be available to you at all times. Should you have any questions, you need only ask. Now, if there are no objections, I shall begin with a summary of the expedition's key accomplishments. Okay, let me, spell speed this time, I guess? Maybe, I don't know. In the course of this, our first foray into the grounds of the Crystal Tower, we succeed in neutralizing the structure's outer defenses, before proceeding to secure the maze surrounding the base of the spire. According to Naran's account, the labyrinth's defenses were most empathetically active. Disturbingly, the report also mentions a violent encounter of a century heavily augmented by Allegan technology. In short, our misgivings were well-founded. The Crystal Tower was not simply thrust above ground by chaotic shifting of Earth, it was somehow been reawoken. If, as seems increasingly likely, the Tower's secrets should prove too dangerous to share with the world, we'll have no choice but to contain them. Short of leveling the place, this will almost certainly involve returning its mechanisms to a state of dormancy. To do that, however, we must first need to address the question of how they work, the answer to which must surely be waiting for us inside the tower itself. In conclusion, that is where we must go. Task rather easily said than done, if the pillars of the labyrinth are any indication. Then I move that all further exploration of the tower be delayed until such a time as exhaustive analysis of the structure's defenses has been completed. Master Garland, may I entrust this task to you? It would be my pleasure. Don't forget about us. It's like you said, Chief, we found the Ironworks to make sure that technology was used for the right reasons, and that means making sure it's not used for the wrong ones. We'd be doing our jobs if we didn't see this through to the end. Lads, well, I hope you're ready for some back-breaking chores. Well, everything seems to be in hand here, so I shall take my leave of you of the present. If I am witness to this valiant tale unfold with my own eyes, I must needs hone my martial skills ere we descend the spire. You do nothing of the sort, Gara. Your knowledge may prove useful to Master Garland's investigation. As an observer, I am not, strictly speaking, subject to your authority. Pray do not mistake my intent, Narn. I am well aware that I shall never be a match for one with your innate talents, however hard I train. Be that as it may, pray do not allow your skills to rust from disuse during the coming pause. We will need your fighting fit if our subsequent forays are to prove as protective as this one. Mark me, we have not yet caught more than the briefest glimpse of which time has obscured. Soon, however, we shall cast off the veil and gaze upon the glory of the Allegan Empire. And with that encouraging thought in mind, it is time to bring this assembly to a close. Let us all focus on the task at hand, that our next expedition may begin all the sooner. Meeting adjourned. Such a terrible mess, yet it does leave the door wide open, so to speak. One cannot help but be impressed. I'm beginning to understand the reliance you place on adventurers, old friend. So this is the legacy the Allegan Empire left behind. My readings are correct. The energy source weighing atop the tower is a match for even the ultimate weapon. Nay, more than a match. A new toy for me to play with. I believe the fates had conspired to deny me my just rewards once again, but it seemed that I had a greater destiny in mind for me. As long as my ambition burns, I shall strive to seize it. The dream lives on, Sid. Do not disappoint me. Somebody from the Empire, I see. Tis you, my friend. You are doubtless eager to hear of our progress on the Crystal Tower. Excellent. I'd be disappointed to hear otherwise. Of course, disappointed is the word of the day, I fear. I'm ashamed to say there is nothing worthwhile to report. The suns continue to probe the labyrinth of the ancients, and every day brings new discoveries. Alas, the same cannot be said of the Crystal Tower proper. We have not been able to set so much as a single foot inside it. You recall how the sentinels stood between us and the labyrinth, initially. In like manner, the entryway into the principal spire, Cyrus Tower, the Allagans called it, is also protected by technology far more advanced than our own. Sid and I have tried every trick we know, but without success. Frankly speaking, we are at a loss. It's discouraging, but we cannot give up. There must be a way in. And so the situation stands, my friend. Until we gain entry into the tower, I fear your talent shan't avail us. It will require time that I am loath to waste, but I have a mind to set my people to scouring such ancient texts as we have at hand. Perhaps we can be of assistance. And you are? Be at ease, friends. We share the same goal. I'm Yunel, and my companion is called Doga. We are scholars of the Allagan civilization, sent by students of Baldessian to assist you in your endeavor. Yuen and Doga have rather unusual names for this day and age. If I might be forgiven for observing, but I digress. You came to be here at the students' behest, but we have received nary a word of your coming. Moreover, in light of the recent incident at Isle of Vale, I would think that they should have rather more pressing concerns. We can only assume that the message failed to reach you due to some mishap. I assure you that we are here to help. What is it, Gara? 'Tis nothing. There was a pain, but it subsided. Well, this is rather unexpected. Your right eye is the same as ours. The same. You have the Allagan eye as well. This sanguine hue is said to be a trait unique to the Allagans, yet I inherit it from my father, as he did from his. Only one child in a single generation is born with the eye. All my life I have sought to learn the truth of its manifestation. If there's aught you know, and I implore you to tell me. My deepest apologies, but we have no answers for you. Only one thing is certain. Those who possess the trait are bound by fate to Allag. As your eye has placed you upon the path you walk, so too have we come here to fulfill our destiny. Observe that it may sound, it is the truth. Seems to me we have not to lose by accepting their aid. What do you say? What say you? If that is your wish, then so be it. You know that I still need to verify your story with the students of Baldessian when I'm able. I trust there are no objections. Very well, at this moment, I name you Unite and Daga, advisory members of NOAA. Without further ado, let us have them examine the Cyrus Tower entrance. Promise you'll not have cause to regret your decision. Alright, I should much oblige you if I would accompany our new friends to the tower. Biggs and Wedge are presently serving the 8 sentinels. The two of them can show you the way. Upon arrival, pray report to Master Garland. He will brief you on the situation. I shall join you, Narn. With Niue and Daga's knowledge, along with your uncanny knack for setting events in motion, I'm hopeful that you'll finally see progress. Alright. Where are they? Oh, they're over this way, I guess. Hey, yeah, let me go through. Just go ahead and get a MIG over here. Let's see then. Go and mad dash up here if I can. Okay, Biggs, what do you have for me? Well, if it isn't Narn, eager to enter Sire's Tower and kill everything in sight, no doubt. As I'm sure you already heard, though, the place is locked up tight as a clam. New friends from the students, you say? Excellent. It's been slow going, or rather no going, for the chief. He'll appreciate the help. If you'll just follow me, I'll take you to him. Ah, some old faces to lift the spirit, and a couple of new ones besides. Allow me to introduce Yunail and Doga. They are scholars of ancient Alag, sent here by friends of Badician to aid in our investigation. I understand you're having trouble circumventing the tower's defenses. 'Tis our hope that we can be of some small assistance. If your attires ought to go by, your assistance shall prove invaluable indeed. To begin with, let me tell you where we stand. Beyond rises Steyer's Tower, the principal spire of the structure collectively known as the Crystal Tower. The only way to get inside is through this proverbial front door, and the imposing gate you see here. Problem is, we can't get it to open. It's sealed by some mechanism whose workings are an utter mystery to us. Having had no success via more orthodox methods, I went at it with everything from a pickaxe to a magitech cannon. Nothing so much as put a scratch on it. For a blessing, the gate doesn't try to reduce us to ashes like the 8 sentinels. That doesn't make it any less effective as a security measure. It's fiendishly frustrating in its simplicity. Luckily, we have the elaborate device carved upon it, a man and a woman, respectant. Alagan royalty by my judgment. Precisely who these individuals were, we cannot say. Nor do we know whether the device actually serves a purpose. Like as not, is purely decorative. If you're thinking that force at save your strength, it's no use, just ask the calluses on my hands. Rest assured, we don't mean to waste our strength. Indeed, why would we exert ourselves when the gate will open of its own accord? I don't think any of us expected that to happen. 7 hells, what is this? What did you do? What are you? Piercing the heavens and gathering the light, a symbol of mankind's glory and might. Its virtue guarded by gates impregnable, only to those of royal blood answerable, exactly as passed down through legend. I am delighted to see. Beg pardons for interrupting your bewilderment. I couldn't help but notice the remarkable playthings you've acquired. Nero, you're still alive. Garland, if I didn't know any better, I would say you weren't happy to see me. But I jest. In light of our recent meetings, you have every right to be wary. Rest assured, I am no longer a threat to you. My legion is for all intents and purposes defunct. My association with it means a tight noose awaits me back at Garlemald. And so I've been roaming this land in Arizal, regular intendant. In the course of my wanderings, I catch to catch wind of your latest adventure. It sounds positively fascinating, so I decided to come here and join you. After the wrongs you've committed, you think us that gullible? If you're suspicious of my intent, it is only my just deserts, but I am determined to make amends. As a gesture of goodwill, I'll share with you what I know, starting with these two odd characters. As you're doubtless already aware, the Crystal Tower was a symbol of ancient Alag's might and prosperity. Entry was permitted only to royalty and a select few individuals. According to legends on Earth, only royal blood can open the gate. In other words, the Emperor and his progeny are living keys. You mean to say that these two are descended from Alagan royalty? Oh, I suggest nothing so glamorous. Put it plain, they are imitations of royalty. Living keys born of Alagan ingenuity. Clones, I believe, is the name of your creators gave your kind. Is that not so? It would seem that the time for good Sima just passed. Pray accept our apologies. 'Twas not our intent to deceive. We simply wish to avoid causing undue alarm by prematurely making what many would consider deranged claims. If I please you, let us return to the 8 Sentinels. There's much more to tell. Very well. So we're just gonna leave the door open? Seven Hells, did you seriously mean to follow us around? Come, Garland, you know me better than to think that I spoke in jest. What more will it take us for to be reconciled? A gift, perhaps? An Alagan tombstone. It holds the information I just shared with you. And a deal more besides. It used to be the Jealousy Guard's property of the 14th Legion, but it's yours now. I wish you joy of it. I look forward to working together, old friend. If you're ready to listen, we shall tell you all. As it pertains closely to your investigation, your leader, Rambros, may wish to be present. Before we begin, pray allow me to apologize again. It was not an intent to deceive you. As you have already gathered, we are not scholars sent by students of Beldesion, nay, we are clones, copies of people who once existed, given life through Alagan technology. This is rather a lot to take in. If it would not be considered unseemly, may I ask why you and yours were created, or more specifically, why is it that you now seek to do? Answer your questions requires that we revisit Alagan history. Pray bear with us. The Alagon Empire reached its zenith long before Archaim came into being. In that glorious age, the Crystal Tower stood tall as a symbol of Alagon pride. Parents took their children there, and that they might learn how the nigh limitless energy it produced brought prosperity to the whole empire. That prosperity, however, bred decadence, and the empire began to show signs of stagnation. This decline was made all more rapid for want of a strong leadership. In a matter of generations, the Alagon civilization became a pale shadow of its former self. Its once gleaming cities fell into disrepair, and its frontier lands were given over to the wilderness. Lamenting the pitiful state of our affairs, one technologist made his mission to restore Alaga to greatness. Almon was his name, and he believed that the ailing empire wanted for but a potent ruler. None was more potent than its founding father, which he sought to resurrect. The founding father, you cannot mean Emperor Zand. None other. As part of his experiments, Almon created clones of the Empire's descendants. We are the products of that experiment, copies of Unel and Doga. Historical texts mention the rings of two Alagon emperors named Zand. It was commonly believed that the second was the namesake of the first. After all, such a custom is not uncommon among Loyalty commoners alike. To think that the two were in fact one and the same. Aye, Zand returned from the grave and assumed his throne once more. And true to Almon's prediction, the Empire restored his realm to the glory it once knew. Would that he could have been satisfied with that. In his previous life, the Empire desired to bring the entire world under Alagon domination, or dominion, an ambition that ultimately went unfulfilled. Having been granted a second chance, he was determined to succeed. Realizing that he needed more power to wage his war of conquest, Zand turned his sights toward a forbidden source, darkness. In order to learn how to harness this power, he converted the Crystal Tower into a restricted research facility. Darkness again? Seven hells. What is it with the megalomaniac rulers turning to darkness in their lust for power? Well, at least this one won't be bothering us, being 1,000 years dead and all. Would that you were right, Master Galan. Alas, Emperor Zand is very much alive. Then Cyrus Tower he still abides, his ambition burning all the more ardently for his empire's collapse. Wielding the power of darkness requires prodigious amounts of energy that not even the Crystal Tower could produce. In order to augment the shortfall, Delmod was created and launched into the heavens. On high it hung, gathering the sun's energy and channeling it to the tower below. However, miscalculation resulted in a surge of energy that escaped into the land. This triggered an earthquake of unprecedented violence, the calamity that ushered in the Fourth Umbral Era. In the blink of an eye, the mighty Alagon Empire was laid to waste. Yet even as the Crystal Tower was sinking into the earth, the technologist, Almon, now Emperor Zand's closest aide, invoked powerful magics and halted the flow of time. Every soul within the structure the Empire included was placed in a deep slumber. In that state they were to remain until the time was ripe to awaken. Heirs came and went. After millennia lying dormant, Dalamod was summoned back to Earth. His ascent triggered the seventh Emerald Calamity, in the wake of which the Crystal Tower re-emerged. At that moment, Emperor Zand awakened. In his lust for power, the Emperor consorted with darkness and was seduced by its corrupting influence. Even though his empire is little more than a fading memory, he'll stop at nothing to see his ambition realized. It is for no other purpose but to put an end to Zand's madness that we exist. This is the mantle we've inherited from our main namesticks, the true Enel and Doga. Fearing what might befall the world, the two of them sought to thwart their emperor. They gave unto us their will, and that we might carry on this mission should they fail. When we came to our senses within the Crystal Tower, we deliberated a course of action. Concluding that we alone could not overcome Zand, we were struck out to find a worthy ally, and it's taken us years, but our search is finally over. It is no ordinary woman who could cut a path through the labyrinth of the ancients. If you as our champion, Narn scorched us, we are confident that we can end Zan's dark ambition once and for all. Well, that'll teach me for speaking too soon, setting my charge aside. I see now why you knew of the students of Baldesia among a host of other things. You're observing our investigation the whole time. So what will you do, Narn? The world's in grave danger again, and it just so happens you're an expert at saving it. You have our eternal gratitude. Together, let us see the Allagan Empire's dark past laid to rest. It has been our mission to recover the long-lost knowledge of the Allagan and civilization, but worth is it that knowledge of it means subjecting the realm to peril? Truth be told, it pains me to think of the tower's secrets may become lost to us, but the greater good must ever come first. Besides, no quantity of ancient relics can compare to our friends Yuna and Duga, living, breathing Allagans. And so I hereby declare a change in Noah's objective. Henceforth, we shall direct all our efforts towards sealing off Cyrus' tower. Its dark secrets must never know the light of day. Narn, as you did for us with the Deliverance of the Ancients, I would have you enter the structure and eliminate hostile elements. Suffice it is to say, this includes Emperor Zan himself. Meanwhile, the rest of us shall examine ways to isolate Cyrus' tower from the outside world. To work then. Wait, there's something I must know. My right eye is like yours. Does this mean... You inherited the trait from your father, you said. Know that clones are unable to bear offspring. You have no cause for concern. The Allagan Eye, you called it, but to us it's the Royal Eye, owing to the fact that the trait manifests only in those possessed of royal blood. Cannot well explain why the eye runs in your line, but I'm disinclined to think it's a coincidence. Though you are doubtless impatient to learn the truth, pray have patience. All will be revealed in due time. Alright. And then right into another cutscene. My apologies if I've given you cause to worry. I'm quite well, I assure you. As you can appreciate, there is much for me to think on. But now is the time for action, not idle thoughts. Cyrus Tower awaits us. Your task is to eliminate all hostile elements within the structure, Zan himself included. This will afford us the chance to see off the facility. May the crystal grant you strength. Alright! Cyrus Tower, the second of the three Realm Reborn 24 raids now open for us. And we'll get to that in the next video here. So, see you then.